You know, as a world-class sport utility, the Ford Explorer is designed to provide superior performance, both on and off the road. So let's take some time to look at the on- and off-road features contributing to Explorer's outstanding reputation. Now, before we go out on the road, let's run over some of the things you should know about your driving controls. If you purchased an Explorer with an automatic transmission, it has an overdrive feature, which, when activated, provides the greatest fuel economy and is best for normal everyday driving. You can turn off the overdrive function from the gear shift lever by pressing on this button. When overdrive is deactivated, an indicator light turns on after the system has been completely disengaged. It's a good idea to deactivate overdrive while driving in high elevations using speed control or while you're pulling a trailer on a steep grade. Overdrive is reactivated by pressing again on the same button. In addition to overdrive, your automatic transmission is equipped with a brake shift interlock feature. This safety device prevents the driver from shifting from park to any gear unless the brake pedal is depressed. The speed control is another system that you should know about. If your Explorer has speed control, it allows you to set the speed of your vehicle when you're traveling more than 30 miles per hour. To activate the system, press the on button. Then set your speed by continuously pressing the Set Excel button until you've reached the speed you want. Once your speed control is set, you can increase your speed by just tapping the Set Excel button. Each time the button is tapped, your Explorer will increase its speed by 1 mile per hour. To slow down, either continuously press the Coast button or tap the Coast button to decelerate in 1 mile per hour increments. If you ordered your Explorer with Control Track 4-wheel drive, you'll experience state-of-the-art 4x4 technology. You have 3 driving modes that you can operate in. Selecting the 4-wheel auto mode provides the most versatility. This mode sends power to the rear axle and instantaneously modulates power to the front axle when increased traction is needed. Similar to an anti-lock brake system, the 4-wheel auto mode uses an onboard computer and electronic sensors to determine the need for 4-wheel drive. When the sensors detect any slight rear wheel slippage, the computer automatically transfers power to the front axle to provide increased traction. Within milliseconds, the system will provide 4-wheel drive as conditions call for it, such as when you're driving on snow, ice, wet pavement, loose gravel, or in off-road conditions. However, the system reverts to rear wheel power when you're back on dry or non-slick surfaces, which maximizes your fuel economy. With this versatility, you may find that this mode is your primary selection. The 2-wheel drive mode only sends power to the rear axle. It might be selected when the need for increased traction is not anticipated over an extended period of time, like a cross-country trip on dry interstate pavement. To shift from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive auto, or back again, just rotate the Control Track switch at the instrument panel. A 4-wheel drive light will tell you when the system is activated. You can make your shift from 2-wheel drive into 4-wheel drive auto at any time, no matter if the vehicle is moving or not. The third mode is the 4-wheel drive low mode, and it provides continuous 4-wheel traction. It's used whenever you need constant power to both axles, like when maneuvering over rough terrain. This mode is not recommended for speeds over 35 miles per hour or while driving on dry pavement. To shift in or out of 4-wheel drive low, you must stop the vehicle and put the transmission in neutral with the brakes applied. When shifting into 4-wheel drive low, a 4-wheel drive low indicator lamp will turn on at the instrument panel. The Explorer Limited 4x4 model comes standard with an automatic ride control system. It provides your vehicle with shock dampening and full-time load leveling capabilities as needed, such as when you're pulling a trailer, for instance. The system also automatically adjusts ride height. For example, when 4-wheel drive low is selected and you're traveling below 30 miles per hour, automatic ride control raises the body 1 inch above the curb height, providing greater clearance for off-road use. Now let's get started. When starting your vehicle, there's no need to depress the accelerator to get the engine going. The electronic fuel injection system has eliminated the need for putting the pedal to the floor. And if your vehicle is equipped with the optional keypad, it supports an auto lock feature. Now, with auto lock, the doors automatically lock after the engine is started. The automatic transmission is shifted to a forward gear, and the brake pedal is released. To activate or deactivate auto lock, follow the instructions listed on the back of this keyless entry code card. It's found in your glove box. One of the things you should remember when driving a 4x4 is that it handles differently from a passenger car, especially when fully loaded. That's because 4x4s are designed and built to be used under off-road driving conditions. Because of the extra clearance needed by off-road vehicles, they have a higher center of gravity, requiring extra caution when driving through emergency situations. For example, if you're driving along a road and something happens to make your vehicle go off the edge of the pavement, slow the vehicle down, but don't apply the brakes too severely. As soon as you have control, ease the vehicle back on the pavement after traffic clears. And be sure not to turn the wheels too sharply when returning to the road. And if you're forced off the road into a ditch, don't try to cut the wheels too sharply to come out of it. What you should do is continue in a straight line to the bottom of the ditch, and then ease yourself out of it. Again, checking for traffic before re-entering the highway. As an extra measure of caution, we recommend that you take it slow and easy until you get to know your new Explorer. And whenever driving in any type of vehicle, you should always remember to avoid sharp turns or any abrupt maneuvers that would cause you to lose control of your vehicle. Caution should also be exercised when you're off-roading in the backcountry. When you're operating in tight situations, you should always make sure that you have plenty of room for the front and rear of the vehicle to clear obstacles. Always swing wide enough to avoid getting hung up. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to drive over a log, it's best to roll over the log one wheel at a time, rather than attacking it head-on. We call this maneuver duck walking. And always make sure you have enough clearance between your vehicle and the obstacle. When climbing steep hills, the best and only safe way is to drive up the grade in a straight line. Never try to reach the top by angling up the grade. The same rule applies when descending down a steep grade. Always go straight down the hill. Plus, you should drop your vehicle into the four-wheel low mode so you can use the engine to slow your descent. Mud and water can be even more tricky to drive in. When driving through muddy or wet areas, watch out for any sudden changes in speed and direction. Even a four-wheel drive can lose traction in slick conditions. If you start to slide, turn the wheels in the direction of the slide to regain control of the vehicle. Water is not only equally challenging, it can hide hazards not apparent from the driver's seat. So before you attempt to cross any stream or bog, check to see how deep the water is. Make sure it's not so deep it will go over your hubs. When traversing the water, drive slowly to avoid splashing. You don't want to drown out your ignition system. And be sure to test your brakes when on dry ground. If they're wet, drive slowly while touching lightly on the brake pedal to dry them off. If you're driving in sand or any loose terrain, try to keep your wheels on the most solid part of the trail. And to get the best results in this kind of terrain, put the transmission in low gear and accelerate slowly. If you can, avoid lowering the air pressure in your tires to improve the traction. But if you must lower the pressure for any reason at all, just remember to re-inflate the tires to the recommended pressure before returning to the highway.
There's a lot of natural beauty in the great outdoors, and it's there for everyone to enjoy.
So whenever you use your new Explorer in the backcountry, use approved off-road areas and leave the land as you found it.
It means the beauty will be there for those who follow.
So tread lightly. You know, going for a carriage ride on a beautiful evening like this is always a lot of fun. But it also makes you appreciate the comfort and convenience of your Explorer.
Absolutely. And one feature I really like is Explorer's optional keyless remote entry system. To unlock the driver's door, just point the key fob at your Explorer and press the unlock button once. To unlock all the doors, Press it a second time within 5 seconds.
If you want to lock all your doors, press the lock button. And this will also arm the optional anti-theft alarm system.
To make sure the doors are locked, press the lock button a second time within 5 seconds. If the doors are properly locked, the horn will chirp and the parking lights will flash. However, if a door is open, the horn will chirp twice.
For your security, the key fob also contains a panic button. When it's pressed, the horn will beep and the lights will flash. On the limited series, the key fob also positions the driver's memory seat when the doors are unlocked.
Now let's look at the power controls conveniently located on the driver's armrest. For example, there are switches for the optional memory seat, power mirror, windows, and door locks. The controls for the optional power front seats are located at the outboard side of the seat. To tilt the front of the seat up or down, press the forward switch. To raise or lower the seat, or to move it forward or backward, use the center switch. And to tilt the back of the seat, use the rearward switch. As previously mentioned, the Limited's driver's seat has a memory feature which is operated by the keyless remote entry system. When the unlock button on the key fob is pressed, the driver's seat automatically adjusts to the position that has been programmed into the system.
Up to 3 different key fobs can be programmed with a specific seat position.
To program an individual seat position, set the driver's seat into the desired position. Then to press the set button on the memory switch and press the number 1 button within 5 seconds. That's all there is to it. Just follow the same procedure for the second person, except use the number 2 button. For the third seat position, press the set button, then to press buttons 1 and 2 simultaneously. If you have the power lumbar support in your front bucket seats, then you can operate it from this switch. To inflate or deflate the lumbar support, which adjusts the contour of the seat back, to press the positive or the negative end of the rocker switch. What I like about the driver's power window is the one-touch window down feature. A quick touch of the switch automatically lowers the window all the way down. If the switch is touched a second time while the window is traveling down, the glass will stop at that position. To control the window all the way through its travel, press the control switch continually until it reaches the desired position. Then release it. There are a number of features you should know about to control your environment. If your Explorer features the electronic automatic temperature control system, it is very easy to operate. All you have to do is turn the system on, then adjust the cabin temperature with either the red or blue button to set the desired temperature. The system automatically maintains the temperature of the interior at the level you've selected. If your vehicle has the manual heating and air conditioning system, then just adjust the controls to suit your preference as conditions warrant. With either system, the controls are located at the center of the instrument panel. Each of the instrument panel registers has louvers that direct airflow in various directions. The registers have a positive shutoff feature which allow individuals to shut down each register. There are 2 questions that are often asked by new owners, and both concern the radio. How do you set the clock, and how do you set the stations? To set your clock, press the clock button on the radio for approximately 3 seconds. To change the number of hours on the radio display, press and hold either end of the seek button. The end with the arrow pointing right will increase the hours, while the end with the arrow facing left decreases it. The procedure for changing minutes is very similar. To change the minutes, press and hold the tune button. The end with the arrow facing right increases the number of minutes, while the arrow facing left decreases it. The radio on your Explorer has the capacity to store 18 radio stations. There are 12 presets for FM stations and 6 for AM. To store a station, tune the radio to the station you want. Then hold down the desired preset button until you hear the radio come back on in approximately 3 seconds. Now the radio station is set. The only thing left to do is set 17 more. Some Explorers may feature an electronic message center in the floor console. It's designed to report on the status of several vehicle systems. For example, one of the most important readings is the condition of the engine oil. The oil life readout provides the percentage of life remaining in the engine oil. The electronic message center bases its evaluation on a calculation of